Hello student, this is Ambrose, your chemistry master. In this session, I am going to explain the applications of Ellingham diagram. Ellingham diagram helps us to select a suitable reducing agent and appropriate temperature range for reduction. The reduction of metal oxide to its metal can be considered as competition between the element used for reduction and the metal to combine with oxygen. If the metal oxide is more stable, then oxygen remains with the metal, and if the oxide of element used for reduction is more stable, then the oxygen from the metal oxide combines with the elements used for the reduction. From the Ellingham diagram, we can infer the relative stability of different metal oxide at a given temperature. So let me explain now the application number 1. If you look at the Ellingham diagram, for the formation of Ag2O and being in the upper part, their decomposition temperatures are 600 Kelvin and 700 Kelvin respectively. For Ag2O, the decomposition temperature is 600 Kelvin, and for H2O, the decomposition temperature is around 700 Kelvin. It indicates that these oxides are unstable at moderate temperature and will decompose on heating even in the absence of reducing agent. Can you say why? So this is because their delta G values are more positive, right? So since delta G value is positive, they will be decomposing on heating even in the absence of reducing agent. Application number 2. Ellingham diagram is used to predict thermodynamic feasibility of reduction of oxides of one metal by another. So what is the use of Ellingham diagram? So Ellingham diagram is used to predict thermodynamic feasibility of reduction of oxides of one metal by another metal. Any metal can reduce the oxides of other metals that are located above it in the diagram. For example, you consider the formation of chromium oxide. For the formation of chromium oxide and aluminum oxide. So this is a line for the formation of chromium oxide, and this is a line for the formation of aluminum oxide. So this shows that Al2O3, this is the formation of aluminum oxide, Al2O3. And this Al2O3 is more stable than this Cr2O3. This is more stable than your Cr2O3. Why? Here Al2O3 line is lying below that of the Cr2O3. As I told you earlier, any metal that can reduce the oxides of other metal that are located above it in the diagram. So your Cr2O3 is lying above the Al2O3. It indicates that aluminum can be used as reducing agent for Cr2O3. That is, Cr2O3 can be reduced with the aluminum. So you will get Al2O3 plus Cr. So aluminum can be used as reducing agent for Cr2O3 chromic oxide, because aluminum oxide formation line lies below that of the Cr2O3 formation line. However, this Al2O3 or aluminum Al2O3 formation line is above that of the MgO and CaO. which indicate that aluminium cannot be used as reducing agent for MgO and CaO. Application number 3. If you go through this diagram, carbon line cuts across many metal oxide, and hence it can reduce all those metal oxides at sufficiently high temperatures. Now let me explain the thermodynamically favorable condition for the reduction of iron oxide by carbon. Look at the thermodynamic favorable condition for the reduction of iron oxide by carbon. In the Ellingham diagram, for the formation of iron oxide, this is the iron oxide line. This is the iron oxide line. This is the iron oxide line. This line is iron oxide line, and this line is carbon monoxide formation line. 2C plus O2 giving 2CO. Now look at here. These two lines, the formation of FeO line and CO formation line intersects at around 1000 Kelvin. At around 1000 Kelvin they are intersecting, which means that below this temperature iron oxide formation is more stable, right? Iron oxide formation is more stable, and this is less stable, and this is applicable below 1000 Kelvin. As I discussed earlier, if any line that lies above that of the any line, the line which is lying below is more stable than the metal oxide which is lying above the line. So if you consider that concept, so below 1000 Kelvin, FeO line is lying below and CO formation is lying above, which indicates that FeO is more stable than CO. The reduction is not thermodynamically favorable. However, above 1000 Kelvin, look at here, above 1000 Kelvin, your carbon monoxide formation line lies below and FeO formation line lies above, which indicate that this is more stable than this one. In the previous case, FeO line formation is more stable, but above 1000 Kelvin, CO formation is more stable at high temperature than your FeO. From this, we can say the coke or carbon can be used as reducing agent for FeO. This I can explain thermodynamically. The thermodynamically favorable condition can be written as so look at the free energy change for the formation of FeO. So 2Fe solid plus O2 gas giving 2 FeO solid, a gas. For this, delta G value is found to be minus 350 kilojoule mole inverse. And carbon monoxide formation 2C solid plus O2 gas giving 2CO gas. For this, delta G value is found to be minus 480 kilojoule mole inverse. Now, so we are speaking about the reduction of metal oxide by carbon, right? So, if this is the equation number 1 and this is the equation number 2, reversing the equation number 1, reverse equation number 1. If you reverse equation number 1, you will get 2 FeO gas, which is converted into 2 Fe solid plus O2 gas. And if you are reversing this equation, the delta G value also will be reversed, right? And hence you will get the delta G value as plus 350 kilojoule mole inverse. Plus 350 kilojoule mole inverse. So let this be equation number 3. Now forget about the equation number 1. Now you add both equation 2 and 3. If you add, the oxygen can be cancelled. You will get 2 FeO plus C giving 2 Fe plus 2C. This is your solid and this is gas. This is solid and this is your gas. And this could be a liquid also. So now the delta G value will be, and this is your higher value, minus 480 is higher value. If you separate that, you will get minus 130 kilojoule mole inverse. And this delta G, this Gibbs free energy formation is in negative symbol, which indicates that, and this reduction of FeO by carbon is thermodynamically favorable or feasible. Also I can say, and this is the formation for, this is the standard free energy for the reduction of 1 mole of 2 mole of FeO. If you want to calculate it for 1 mole, you need to divide it by 2. Delta G4 value, if you divide it by 2, you will get minus 65 kilojoule mole inverse. So you are even the reduction of 1 mole of FeO by carbon is also your negative delta G value, which indicates that this reduction is thermodynamically favorable. So now I am going to explain the limitations of Ellingham diagram. Ellingham diagram is constructed based on the thermodynamic considerations. It gives information about the thermodynamic feasibility of a reaction, but it does not tell anything about the rate of the reaction. Moreover, it does not give any idea about the possibility of other reaction that might be taking place. Limitation number 2. The interpretation of delta G is based on the assumption that the reactants are in equilibrium with the product, which is not always true. Limitation number 2. The interpretation of delta G is based on the assumption that The reactants are in equilibrium with the products. Limitation number 2. The interpretation of delta G is based on the assumption that the reactants are in equilibrium with the products, which is not always true. Thank you.